Hello, and welcome to the 5th Co-Creative Thought Transformation video. If you have been following Heart Journey as a spiritual path, then you know that this video is the 5th in the series of spiritual practices meant to shift your thinking into co-creative ways of interacting with the physical world and the invisible spiritual dimension. These videos are based on the book Heart Journey, which I wrote about attracting and manifesting as a spiritual path. You can find a free introductory video to Heart Journey, a how-to manual for co-creative manifestation, on my Mary Juno YouTube channel or on my maryjuno.com homepage. In addition to internet access, my website is now available in mobile format, so you can access it on your cell phone at any time. If you have not seen the introductory video, I suggest you view that video first. It will give you an overview of what I seek to accomplish by authoring these free videos and also provide context for the co-creative thought transformations I present. There are 12 co-creative thought transformations in all. It is suggested that you keep them in order and practice them each for 1 month by keeping the concepts and principles in mind as you go about your normal routine. There is nothing to study or journal. I am simply introducing a different way of thinking and feeling that you can practice and observe during the coming month. If you find this video insightful and helpful, please click like when you are done. This brings us to the 5th old thought pattern needing transformation: reality deception. Delusions about reality are holding you back if you believe there is only one reality, and it is basically limited to the physical world you see and feel. There is more, much more than meets the eye. There is actually an invisible spiritual dimension within and without the physical world. Enhanced perception, including this dimension, is as different and as stark as going from black and white to seeing color. You have to attune yourself to the invisible spiritual dimension to fully perceive this level of reality and understand its laws and principles. This invisible spiritual dimension can remain elusive because it is subtle. It can be overshadowed by the physical world when senses are focused solely on the obvious, and the rational mind discounts anything irrational or miraculous. Also, the spiritual dimension is generally only partially revealed at any point in time. This can leave you confused and uncertain, wondering, did I just see what I think I saw? What little you do perceive can seem distorted and disorganized, conveying limited meaning. When you limit your perceptions to the 5 senses, you are deceiving yourself and selling yourself short. There is more than the physical world, and your potential is more than what you can physically manipulate or accomplish on your own. The goal this month, and with this thought transformation, is to bring the spiritual dimension into improved focus, with clearer communication and interaction, regardless of your starting point. The spiritual dimension is only less apparent when you do not take the time to heighten your awareness and broaden your range. You want to move from reality deception to multidimensional perception. You will discover that the visible physical world and the invisible spiritual dimension coexist as an interwoven multidimensional reality that is rich, diverse, and pliable. Each has its own rules and laws contributing to the process of manifestation through attraction and receptivity. Understanding the characteristics of each will enhance your co-creative abilities. It is in the invisible spiritual dimension wherein your co-creative partner resides and creative energy originates. You live in this unseen spiritual dimension too, and the spiritual dimension lives in you, whether you realize it or not. There is no segregation. Rather, a vibrational continuum exists from the higher creative frequencies in the spiritual dimension to the lower, slower, restricted physical frequencies that allow for concentration into matter. Creative energy is the building block of the spiritual dimension and also the building block for everything in the physical world. Creative energy has unlimited potential. It is the beginning, the precursor of all forms, and some people simply refer to creative energy as Source or God the Creator. Almost every religion and tradition talks about an unseen force, regardless of the label. It is this force that creates our world as we know it and see it, and other dimensions we have yet to discover. The seen and unseen dimensions are interwoven. Contacts are ever present, and spiritual influences bleed through. This crossover allows for co-creative communication, making symbols, signs, coincidences, ease, God whispers, lucid dreams, and visions meaningful and significant. The connection enables the co-creative partnership you seek to establish and the guidance you receive. But there is more going on between the visible and invisible dimensions than communication or co-creative guidance. Creative energy is the building block for manifestation through attraction and receptivity, and it can be responsive to your individual desire and request. Creative energy in the spiritual dimension is unformed, disorganized, and can seem chaotic. But out of the chaos can emerge order. Desire and thought, in cooperation with your co-creative partner, can direct creative energy into the form manifestation will take. Desire is the emotion that attracts and concentrates creative energy. Thought is the translation of your desire into a blueprint for formation. It is desire and thought which become the organizing principles that envision the end product, leading to manifestation through attraction and receptivity. Breaking this process down step by step, desire and thought establish definition and the blueprint for manifestation. Desire fosters attraction, initiating concentration and compression of free-floating, chaotic, creative energy. Desire functions like a magnet, drawing the appropriate creative resources together, making them available for the process of manifestation. The flow of creative energy is assisted by your co-creative partner as long as your request is consistent with your highest good and the highest good of all involved. Assistance is not limited to communication and guidance. Your co-creative partner also influences the flow of creative energy. Love is the emotion that opens the heart, increasing attractive ability. You have to clear any emotion, thought process, or physical obstruction that would impede manifestation. Eliminating negativity can increase the likelihood of manifesting, but being compassionate and loving towards others while sharing your good fortune and passing along abundance increases attraction and the amount of co-creative energy available. Vibrational frequency lowers, resulting in condensation and fluidity. As creative energy is compressed through the process of attraction, space becomes limited. Movement is restricted, oscillation slows, and the vibrational frequency is lowered. At this point, condensation begins, the process of changing from one form to another. We normally associate condensation with a vapor becoming liquid. In the process of manifestation through attraction and receptivity, We can think of creative energy as a spiritual vapor that condenses to a liquid state that can then be poured into a form. Openness fosters receptivity by allowing formation and manifestation to occur in the manner directed by your co-creative partner. You can also think of openness as surrendering control at this point in the process and following the lead of your co-creative partner. Openness augments receptivity by holding empty the thought form in which solidification takes place. You don't know exactly how or when manifestation will occur. You do not know if you will be involved or how you will participate. You might end up sitting on the sidelines. An attitude of openness lets you get out of the way. This is especially important if developments seem chaotic and overwhelming to you. Creative energy is unformed and disorganized. Manifestation can become very stressful and intense. You have to maintain your composure and commitment during formation and immediately before manifestation. Admittedly, this is a simplified attempt to define a very complex spiritual process that remains cloaked by design. Miracles happen for unknown reasons. The process of manifestation through attraction and receptivity fails for unknown reasons. There are no guarantees and no formula is foolproof. The workings of the co-creative partner and creative energy are only partially revealed and remain a mystery. The important point to remember is that there is a vibrational continuum. Matter is nothing more than creative energy oscillating at a slower vibrational rate. The undefined, unformed, abundant creative energy innate to the invisible spiritual dimension can manifest physically in a process that goes from higher vibrational frequencies to lower and according to your desire and focus sustained thought. One of the characteristics of the invisible spiritual dimension is that it is pliable, more pliable than the visible physical world. The physical world appears to have varying degrees of solidification. There are solid elements such as rocks, vegetation, animals, humans, and man-made structures such as houses, roads, bridges, and buildings. Water is certainly more fluid than any of these forms and can readily take the shape of any container or freeze solid. But water is not nearly as changeable as the air we breathe, which can expand and contract. The creative energy of the invisible spiritual dimension is even less tangible and more pliable than air. It can assume any form, under any circumstances, and is able to change instantaneously. Because the physical world embodies creative energy and reflects the spiritual dimension, some flexibility and responsiveness exists, though there may be limits to the amount of change that can occur at any one time. The process of transformation generally moves at a much slower pace. Still, change does occur even in the most stable of forms. We know that even the continents drift over time. The reality can appear fixed. It can change and be affected by your thinking patterns. There are many stories of shamans who shapeshift and gurus who materialize beads from thin air. Solid structures can either change or appear to change. Your task this month is to be open to the possibility of dimensional shifts and multidimensional interactions. Here is one of my experiences. I went with a friend to the Herkimer Diamond Mines in New York State. Herkimer diamonds are really double-terminated quartz crystals. They are clear, glass-like crystals with points on both ends. They can be found on the ground at the mines. The best time to go crystal hunting is after a hard rain, when the water has washed away the dirt and exposed the Herkimer diamonds. You can just walk along and pick them up. The experience was very surreal to me. I would squat down and stare at the dirt and not see a single diamond. Then suddenly the earth would drop down and the Herkimer diamonds would pop up sparkling. As soon as they appeared, I would race to pick them up, because before long, and always before I was done, the earth would rise up again, and the diamonds would fall back into the dirt and disappear. The process was great play for me, and occurred numerous times over the span of several hours. It was like shifting between two dimensions, both real, interwoven, and interchangeable. This had nothing to do with light. The day was heavily overcast, and there was never any direct sunlight to expose the crystals. The changes in my ability to perceive were a mystery to me, but showed me that there was more here than meets the eye. By focusing your sustained thought and desire, you already know that you can initiate shifts in the physical world by the process of manifestation through attraction and receptivity. The more consistent and compatible your thoughts, feelings, and actions are with guidance from your co-creative partner and the highest good of all involved, the faster a change might occur, and the more dramatic the result. Over time and with experience, your communication with your co-creative partner, your connection to the invisible creative energy, and your recognition of subtle influences involved in manifestation will strengthen. But here is an important point to remember. Like your reality, your spiritual development is not static. You do not get to some point and think you have arrived, no matter how many experiences you have or what you have been able to manifest. Your relationship with your co-creative partner and the invisible spiritual dimension is meant to be ongoing and continually enlightening. Every insight, understanding, or experience you have will eventually fall away as new insight, deeper understanding, or more profound experiences arise regarding your heart journey. There are numerous tiers of discovery and wonder. Manifestation is not an endpoint, and it does not mean you have attained mastery. Stay on the journey and keep evolving. On your heart journey, individualization is to be expected. What you previously believed about the spiritual realm may have been a product of or a reaction to your religious education and upbringing. At this point, your former beliefs are being affected by your direct experience of your co-creative partner. You are moving beyond rhetoric to a heartfelt connection. This may cause you to review what you have been taught in light of what you are experiencing. Major changes in beliefs are possible. Welcome the process of walking your own individualized path. You may or may not begin to experience other etheric beings, such as angels, spirit guides, saints, ascended masters, your soul, or higher self. Your relationship with your co-creative partner may open you to other beneficial and spiritual connections. In your mind's eye, faraway lands may appear, some recognizable and some not so recognizable. Different time periods may arise as space and time barriers fall away, or memories of other lifetimes surface. Open your mind as well as your heart. As your inner senses become more and more attuned to subtleties, it is up to you to make sense of what you experience and decide what you believe. Don't immediately discount your experiences or try to explain them away with rational analysis if and when the miraculous and irrational happens. And so, the fifth thought pattern transformation is moving from reality deception to multidimensional perception in whatever form it takes. Work with this co-creative thought transformation for 1 month, keeping it foremost in your mind. Place cues in your home and work environment as reminders of the transformation you are seeking to make. At the end of the month, move on to the 6th co-creative thought pattern needing transformation. You are not expected to master any of the co-creative thought transformations in 1 month's time. These transformations are lifelong callings. There are layers and layers of spiritual insight and growth innate to each new co-creative thought pattern. In the beginning, awareness in and of itself is considered progress, a step in the right direction. Next month's sixth old thought pattern needing transformation is mental constructs, which will also be in video format. There are actually 12 co-creative thought transformations. Progress with one transformation supports progress with the others, as all 12 are interrelated. Each round will awaken your heart further and deepen your experience and skill in attracting and manifesting. Look for the sixth co-creative thought pattern transformation on my YouTube channel or on my Mary Juno website. To receive notices of each new video, subscribe to my YouTube channel or newsletter. For more information about Heart Journey and co-creative manifestation, go to my maryjuno.com website. There you will find a study guide, sample chapter, and videos. Heart Journey, the book, is available in paper and digital format. And obviously, the greatest amount of information in spiritual depth is only found in the book. My videos can only introduce you to a topic. The book can be purchased online or through a bookstore. The digital format will work with your iPad, tablet, computer, or phone. Free apps are available. So, another month and another focus. I wish you all the best with this fifth co-creative thought transformation, and I look forward to sharing with you next month with a new video. I hope you have an abundant and insightful month.